Have you ever wondered how a scattered group of nomadic tribes from the vast, unforgiving steppes of Mongolia managed to build the largest contiguous land empire in history? How did a force of just over 100,000 horsemen conquer nearly half the known world? This is the story of the Mongol Empire, a saga of brutal conquest, brilliant strategy, and the meteoric rise of one man, Genghis Khan. Our story begins not in a palace, but on the harsh plains of 12th century Mongolia. A boy named Temujin was born into a world of constant tribal warfare. His early life was anything but easy. His father, a minor chieftain, was poisoned by a rival tribe, and his own clan abandoned him, his mother, and his siblings, leaving them to fend for themselves in the wilderness. They survived by eating roots and hunting small animals. This brutal upbringing didn't break Temujin. It forged him into a leader of incredible resilience and cunning. From these humble beginnings, Temujin began his ascent. He was a master of diplomacy and warfare, a charismatic leader who knew when to forge an alliance and when to strike with ruthless precision. He built a network of loyal followers, including his first wife, Berta, whose kidnapping and subsequent rescue became a pivotal event in his rise to power. One by one, he defeated rival tribes, not just scattering them, but integrating the survivors into his own ranks. This was revolutionary. Instead of loyalty to a clan, he demanded loyalty to him alone, breaking down old tribal divisions and uniting the Mongol people under a single banner for the first time. By 1206, at a grand assembly known as a Curated, the united Mongol tribes proclaimed him Genghis Khan, meaning the universal ruler. He was no longer just a tribal chief. He was the leader of a new nation, a nation poised to unleash its power upon the world. So, what was the secret to the Mongol military machine? It wasn't just numbers. In fact, they were often vastly outnumbered. Their strength lay in their unmatched skill as horsemen and archers. A Mongol warrior learned to ride almost as soon as he could walk. They could shoot arrows with deadly accuracy while galloping at full speed, even turning backward in the saddle to fire at a pursuing enemy, a tactic known as the Parthian shot. Their composite bows were powerful weapons, capable of piercing armor from a distance. Their horses were just as crucial. The small, sturdy Mongolian horse was a marvel of endurance, able to survive on sparse vegetation and travel incredible distances. Each warrior would have multiple horses, allowing them to switch mounts and cover up to 100 miles in a single day, a speed unheard of by their sedentary enemies. This mobility gave them the ultimate advantage of surprise, allowing them to appear where they were least expected. But it wasn't just about bows and horses. Genghis Khan was a military genius who organized his army with ruthless efficiency. He structured his forces based on a decimal system, units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 soldiers called a tumen. This system allowed for precise command and control on the battlefield. Discipline was absolute. If one soldier in a unit of 10 retreated, all 10 were executed. This ironclad rule ensured that his armies fought as a single, unbreakable force. Their tactics were equally brilliant and terrifying. They were masters of psychological warfare. Before an attack, they would often demand surrender. If a city complied, its people were often spared and incorporated into the empire. But if they resisted, the Mongols would show no mercy. They would besiege the city, using captured engineers to build sophisticated siege weapons like catapults and trebuchets. Once the walls were breached, the slaughter was often total, a deliberate message to other cities to not even think about resisting. They perfected feigned retreats, luring their enemies into a chase, only to turn and envelop them in a deadly rain of arrows. They used an extensive network of spies and scouts to gather intelligence, ensuring they always knew the terrain and the enemy's strength before a battle even began. With this unstoppable military force, Genghis Khan and his successors launched a series of campaigns that redrew the map of the world. They first turned their attention to the powerful empires of China. They conquered the Western Xia, then turned on the great Jin dynasty in the north. The conquest of China was a long, brutal affair, but the Mongols adapted, learning the art of siege warfare and incorporating Chinese engineers and technology into their own army. Next, their gaze turned west. In one of the most audacious campaigns in history, the Mongol army swept across Central Asia, annihilating the powerful Khwarezmian Empire. Great centers of learning and culture like Samarkand and Bukhara were razed to the ground. The destruction was so immense that some regions didn't recover for centuries. The message was clear: defiance meant annihilation. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his empire didn't crumble. Instead, his sons and grandsons continued the expansion. Batu Khan led the Golden Horde into Russia and Eastern Europe, defeating Polish and Hungarian knights and reaching the shores of the Adriatic Sea. Hulagu Khan led his forces south, sacking the legendary city of Baghdad in 1258, bringing an end to the Islamic Golden Age's Abbasid Caliphate. At its height, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe, from Siberia to the Persian Gulf. But the Mongol Empire wasn't just about destruction. In its wake, it created a period of unprecedented peace and stability across Asia, known as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace. They established the Yam, a highly efficient postal relay system that connected the vast empire. Riders on this medieval superhighway could carry messages and intelligence with incredible speed. This stability revitalized the Silk Road, making it safer than ever before. For the first time, goods, ideas, technologies, and cultures flowed freely between East and West. Gunpowder, the compass, and printing from China made their way to Europe, while Western travelers like Marco Polo could journey to the Far East and return with tales of incredible wonders. The Mongol Empire, forged in fire and blood, had inadvertently become the world's greatest conduit for global exchange. The story of the Mongol Empire is a powerful testament to how a small group of determined people, under a visionary leader, can change the course of history. From the harsh steppes, Temujin united a people, built an army, and conquered the world. It's a complex legacy of brutal conquest and unprecedented connection, one that shaped the world we live in today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into history fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events and people who shaped our world. We'll see you in the next video.